This episode is sponsored by MMS, Missionary Music School, changing lives one note at a time. Go to mmsforeveryone.com. Oh, I like it. No. Hello everyone, my name is Porfirio Gueiros and you're listening to Think and Play. I invited a few of my students, which I call friends, to talk about music. What made that song so special and what made that song different and what that song influenced in their lives. If you like music like me, if you're a music enthusiast, this is the podcast for you. So enjoy, have a seat, and let's think about music. Thank you. Here we are, as I promised, part B of Eric and Cynthia producer story. On this episode, we're gonna learn how this incredible friendship started and changed their lives. Friends comes and goes, but family, it's what really mattered. So we have to fight for it. Let's listen to Erica and Cynthia part B story. It's amazing. Thank you, Eric. Go. It's on you, bro. Let's do it again. Tell me Cynthia's story.
Man.
You fell in love for her, but she kicked you out.
It was the stupidest way I fell in love. It's a sad way.
She didn't like you.
She liked me. She didn't like me that way. With Cynthia, she was in Bahrain. I've been going to church for a while. We were hanging out so much that we started making jokes. I was calling her mommy because she was older than me. She was 9 years older than me. And I was calling her mommy, and she was calling me son all the time, because we would hang out. She's like, hey, son. And she was mommy. For me, I never saw her like that. I just saw her as a really good friend. And I was helping her, she would help me. That's why we hung out. And one day we did like a hike, and we took a picture. I was wearing glasses, and I posted it on Facebook. And Sarah, if you're reading, and Sarah knows, I've been listening. She just goes and comments on things. Cute couple.
Oh.
I was like reading, I laughed. I was like, ha ha ha. But that is like a little thing made me think for a second. I'm like, oh, we do look cute together. We do look cute. And as time went by, we were still hanging out like that. I started paying attention to Cynthia in a different way. So it's like not lustful or anything like that, because I always knew she was beautiful and gorgeous. I started noticing my future wife, what I always wanted traits. She was an au pair, and for me, a proper wife is who can take care of my children, because my dream was to be a dad, and I wanted the kids to be taken care of. And I saw the way she treated the kids, the way she talked to them, when they were misbehaving, the way she approached them, with logic and emotion, with love. And I was like, man, I fell in love with that. And then I noticed how she took up the kids of the rain, older people. She was very sacrificial, and at the same time, she kept her a woman. You know what I mean? There's like people who are very connected, but they decrease themselves to connect to people. She would never decrease herself. She would still be that queen, She knew confident. She knew who she was. Brazilian. Yeah, sexy Brazilian, confident. But I'm saying she was like very confident on what she did, and she always did it to her best. If she would do something, she would do it to her best. And I'm like, that's who I am. When I want something, I go for it. I'm like, man, this will be a powerhouse. In my head, I'm like, we both together, her helping me go for my goals, and her taking care of a house, of a family, and she will kill at it. She did a good job. There's nothing stopping us. Then as time went by, I fell in love with her, and I told her how I felt. I still remember where I talked to her. It was in front of my apartment in our car, and she said, no, I don't like you that way. And it became very awkward. And as time went by, pretty much we couldn't hang out anymore because she almost got a restraining order on me. Well, she didn't get it. People were telling her to get it because I would pursue her so much. I pursued her so much that I was pushing her away. So I was like, hey, one time I was like, I got scared that I would lose her as a friend. So I called her and I let's meet up. Told her, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna stop pursuing you. I'm gonna move on with my life. I'd rather us be friends than lose you forever. I'm like, whatever we had, I'm like, I want you in my life. So I was like, I'm gonna take a break. We'll see each other around, and hopefully one day we can hang out again. So we did that, and then we went to Bahrain youth camp. I slowly started focusing on myself, and I started noticing her missing me. I started noticing how she would act when I would be around, and like I was able to tell. And then she would call me, it's like, hey, you want to hang out? And I didn't mind it. I loved it. I checked myself. I was like, hold up, I can't go through that pain again. It was such such a bad pain. I actually almost committed suicide. Signed up to the military. I was gonna go become a Marine, and I stopped myself. Of course, I had a few friends who helped me. Drank Grey Goose so much that I fell asleep. I didn't know how I got home. My friends dragged me. So I had friends at that time who helped me for a lot of pain. Serge is one of them. Gorbanov, he helped me a lot. And Vadim was there a lot for me. A bunch of our friends in our church. Alex was there. We were in sorrow together because he was chasing Beacon. She was denying him. I told her, I was like, okay, like you're inviting me and you're acting different. You're not acting as a friend. I told her, I'm like, I don't want getting my hopes up, hanging around you, you touching my leg or being so like, you know how I felt about you. I'm not going for that path again. And she's like, it's different this time. I'm like, why? She's like, I think I'm starting to like it. And the whole church was against it too. So when we started dating, everybody in our church, 99%.
Cynthia was a church leader.
Yeah, she was. And she was like older than me. I was a nobody, a kid. And right as we started dating, and against all odds, everybody against us, we started doing it anyway because she couldn't handle the feelings she started having. And she said one of the reasons because she kept praying and she would have peace. Like, God, why is this kid pursuing me? And she would have peace. Like she said, God is saying, it's okay. I'm okay with it. Finally, we started dating. A month into it, she had to leave America because paperwork, a bunch of stuff. And then she got banned for 10 years to come to America. And that's when I realized this is where I've become a man or not. Bobby's like even asked a question later on. He's like, man, I thought you were gonna not pursue her after that. I was really proud that you followed through. And because Bobby was kind of her dad here, taking care of her. That's where I realized I was like, okay, since she's a woman, she's older than me, she's gonna want to have kids, and you know she's gonna want to get established. She's not gonna be just dating, blah blah blah, then propose and be engaged for years. It's like life is gonna have to happen.
Yeah.
And I need to be a man. I need to provide for her. If we have kids, she needs to be at home with kids. So I'm like, and now I need to hire lawyers. I need to make money. And what I started doing is I started working like crazy because she wasn't here. I wasn't distracted. So I just started working Monday through Sunday. I would do jobs. I'll work until 9 o'clock and then we'd drive home. And I did that for many years to be able to pay off the lawyers. After I paid them off, and when finally she was able to come here, right when she got here, that's when I opened the business. Not being a contractor. And the first truck we got was that colorful truck you guys see sometimes wrapped. That's the first truck I ever got. My credit was so bad, it was 30% interest on it. And we paid her off fully. Every month we kept paying for it, and the interest kept going up, but definitely helped start up a business, and it was worth it. So a lot of people say it's like a bad idea. I was like, I need a vehicle. I had to get around. And yeah, she got here and I opened the business and I started grinding a lot of hours. It was tiring. It was very tiring, but I had a mission. I had a goal.
Yeah, of course. If you have
when I have a goal and I have a mission, it's easy to grind when you have a goal. I believe a lot of people nowadays are like, I want to get there. I want this. I don't know how to get there. Like, I don't want to work too hard. Like how do I get there? For me, it's like, okay, I didn't even think about being where I am today. I had no idea it's going to be that well. For me, it was like, get my wife into a better place. Yeah. I'm her man. I'm her provider. When she got here, I had a mattress in the basement. That's it, under our name. Because it was all lawyers. Then it took us to bring her here. Then a car. So I was like, okay, we need an apartment. So I need to make money to get down payment for a apartment. Did that. Then I'm like, okay, we got to furnish this place. Worked like crazy. I was just literally focused on what at that moment we needed. Then I'm like, she got a job and she was taking a bus. I'm like, I need to get her a car. Yeah. Like, I don't need my wife taking a bus from Mount Lake Terrace all the way to Bellevue. If I took him a bus, I know how people are weird over there. It's like, okay, we need to get a car. And after I got her a car, I was like, okay, we need to move into a better area. And we moved to a better area. So our life started getting more expensive. But for me, I don't look at budgeting. A lot of people focus on life about budgeting. I've never looked at budgeting. I never looked at numbers when I buy something. If I go buy something, people are like, you don't look now. You're right. There was a certain point in my life when I had $50 in my bank account, I looked when I went to buy food. But I'm saying when I had a job, I wouldn't go and like, I need this. I'm going to work for it and get it. Because I'm not going to look how much money I have saved to buy this. Of course, you're buying something big. It's different, but I'm saying everyday items. So we never budgeted. We never did fully savings. We always just put in and we would do life. And as time went, my bills became very expensive. And it's my fault and it's my wife's fault. We kept adding on top of each other. Once we had kids, I was like, okay, now we have this kind of expense. So I was like, well, how do I need to make more money? So every step, I was like, okay, I'm already working myself fully. I have to find a way different way to do it. So I'm like, I have to replace myself. So I started doing that in my business. I just started replacing myself, delegating myself in different positions. In the beginning, it was very scary because it's like your baby. I'm like, if you screw up, you lose
your business.
Yeah,
you lose your life.
Exactly. I'm like, then I can't provide. Now looking back, those are stupid things to be scared of, because one guy who fails, you just step back in and you apologize. You pay the money back, and most people understand. Now, honestly, like, I've done it multiple times and they understand. But at that time, I've never been for there. There was nobody guiding me. It's like, it's okay, Eric, don't be scared. This will happen. This will happen. Not a big deal. No, I didn't have that. Now, like, I can open a business tomorrow and I can make that one to $1 million company within a few months. It's just because I know the process. Once I already know the process, pretty easy. So I started delegating myself in every position. Once I started doing that, I feel like I found my calling, because I never knew what I wanted to do. For me, I was like, well, and I believe everybody should look at it this way. It's like, you want to do this, right? Let's say you want to play golf, but you're not a professional, but you want to do this for a living. I'm like, it's fine. It's okay. There's a way to do that. Go grind, make money, and you can do your hobbies. But you want to get paid. A lot of people are like, I want to get paid for my hobbies. I'm sorry. Some of us didn't have, I wanted to get paid for gaming. I want to make millions from gaming. Guess what? It didn't work out. But you can make your dreams come true by just going grinding, doing something, making it grow, and when it's established, you just take care of it, and you can do your hobbies. Then you can find your calling. It's like, I don't know what my calling is. I don't know what my calling was. You think I wanted to paint doors and trim and be on a 20-foot ladder, scraping paint falling in my face and my mouth, and like you're standing, all this stuff is falling, you're holding onto a fascia, gutter or a roof on a ladder, hanging, and it's freaking 95 degrees outside, it's hot, and you have this like paint chips falling all over you. I didn't want to do that. You think that's my calling? No, I didn't know what my calling was, and I was not going to sit around and wait for it. So I was doing that, and through it, it created me humbleness for workers. I understood how to talk to my contractors. I understood when they were not being treated right. I realized what I enjoy doing is making other people successful. I've got so much dopamine, I've got so much drive and so much excitement when I see me helping someone's generational life being changed. Anybody who I've partnered with or anybody who I've hired, I've created a lot of competition for myself, but a lot of the people who I've done, I sewed into them. Even if they never said thank you, for me, even though when I see them around, when I see their Instagram, see their Facebook, I'm so happy for everybody. Some people hurt me in different ways and it could have gone differently. I'm still happy for them, but for me, God showed me this is what you enjoy doing. Did you not realize the joy every time I start realizing the joy I have, that I was able to change their life? And I know their kids' life is going to be changed because of that, and because they have time with their family, because they have time for spending their wives, they can buy the things they want, and they can use that money to bless other people. And for me, I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do for my life. I'm just going to slowly change other people's life as time goes by. When I get bored, I'm like, okay, let's change somebody else's life. Every time I get, I'm not joking, every time I get bored or like work is not exciting for me anymore, I just go open a new business. I'll find somebody, and one of the things God's gifted me on, I can talk to someone for a little bit, hang out with them, and I can tell right away what they will be really good at. I can see other people's talents really well, and I know how to put them in the right position, help them grow. Even when they're failing, it's like, don't worry about it while you're failing, just keep doing it and do this. Sooner or later, they become very good.
Eric, you're just like my brother. I have an older brother, Robert. He's a very successful guy because he sees the potential in people.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's really good. And one day I asked him, how are you so successful? And he told me, I'm just a dumb guy who knows to put the right people on the right spot.
That's literally what I tell people. I'm just a painter. I'm a dropout of high school. Like, honestly, that's the reason it annoys me so much when guys at church or anywhere I go and they come up to me and it's like, how did you do it? I'm like, guys, if I did it, I promise you, I know how lazy I am. I know how, dumb I am when it comes to a lot of stuff. And I'm still learning taxes, other stuff. It's like, when you're making plain enough money, even how dumb you are about that stuff, you have money left over. Yes, I could make a lot more money if I was study more and figure out tax and other stuff, loopholes and everything. Yes, but I'm saying anybody can do it. You just gotta focus on it and sacrifice for a few years and just do it. I did it, bro. Anybody can do it. But again, hiring people is scary. And if you're not able to read people, that does make a challenge.
Yeah, because human beings are hard.
Yes, I agree.
Because they have different seasons, different emotions, different needs. If you give them this, they're gonna get 2 this and 3 this and 5 this, because they just give me more, give me more.
Yeah.
I have this one thing in my life, is changing people one note at a time.
Yeah, I heard you say that before. Yeah.
It's just that's all I need. If I can change one person with one little note, that's my goal. And when I start this podcasting, if I can change one person, I'll keep on doing. I don't do it for money. I don't have sponsors. I don't have nothing. I can see the goals, and the goals are it's getting, because I'm reaching out for more and more people. Saying, okay, there's a bunch of people who needs to listen to good people, not shitty things that we have on the
people around us too. So I feel like that's a nice thing about it. You're letting people listen to people who they see on a daily basis but don't know them. And they get to know them a little bit.
Yeah.
And get to see their background. And the cool thing about it, it's not just, of course that other person somewhere out there did it. This is somebody who you're going to constantly see every day.
Yeah.
Or was able to do a bunch of stuff around you. This person, that person, they're around you. That means you're one of them. You can become the next one. They're there to help. I'm there to help. I guarantee you 90% of the people who you talked, interesting about one of them, almost 100% there will be willing to help, because the people you're friends with, you're doing podcasts with, most of them are a reason why you talk to them, because they're a lot like you. That's the only reason you're able to talk to them and feel comfortable. Like you said earlier, you used to be scared in a big group, but one-on-one, because you know the person. And the reason why you know him, because you're a friend. If they're your friend, you're comfortable, you trust them, and you know who they are, and they're very loving, because most people, they become friends with people, they have something in common, and it's usually the heart, in my opinion. Most people don't become friends or acquaintances with people because of their mind. It's usually they become friends is because of their heart. Because I have friends who are way smarter than me, and it's not fun when they talk about some stuff, but they know my heart and I know their heart, and we can just hang out, and we know we have each other's back no matter what. So that's what I think is really beautiful.
And there's another thing. We even people that we meet at our church, it's just, hi, how you doing? It's just like 5 minutes, 10 minutes conversation, and that's it. We're gone.
Yeah.
And then you see next Sunday, hey, how was the week? And then was this. Nobody has a voice, a platform that they can speak out and say, hey, this is who I am.
Yeah, this is what I do. This is what I've done.
Because it's boring.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to know the good things about your life, or nobody wants to. They don't give a
Yeah.
Excuse my language, by French. They don't give a shit for your life.
It's true. They're worrying about themselves.
They worry about themselves.
Yeah.
But then I'm realizing when I spend like 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, 2 hours, and talking to people. And of course, I know you for 10 years, for 13 years, okay, but I don't know you. I need Panic, and I know Panic because he's a good. To be honest, in my life, I only had like 4 really good friends in my life, and Panic's one of them.
That's awesome. That's a good friend to have.
I know, because it's straight to the point.
Yeah.
And again, this is me. We only know somebody when you get drunk with that person.
Yes, I agree. And a lot of people open up and they put the walls down.
Yeah.
And they're able to tell them how they feel at that moment, what they're going through at that moment, because you see it on their faces, like, what's going on with you? And the wall's down. You've seen them, their wall down, and they're able to share back and forth.
Yeah.
For me, I actually don't need beer for that. I'm or drinks. I've been always like that. Except with some people who I can sense. That's like I said, like when I see the gift in others, I'm pretty good at sensing when somebody, something's wrong.
Like a little red flag. Look.
Sadly, it's true. I can't even watch a movie. Sometimes it's annoying. 5 minutes into a movie, I can tell you what's gonna happen. It's one of those stuff. It's like I believe me and Oleg Maramura actually had a discussion about it. We're pretty good friends, and he was kind of raised a lot like me, and we believe is because when you're growing on the streets and your survival, you always have to look over your shoulder and you have to read everything that's always going on around you. When you grow up like that, you get another sense. I call it a blessing sense you have, because you got abandoned or something happened to you. God gave you a new sense that it will help you regulate life to a certain degree. Because I'm like, I can literally come into a room, I can read the room very, very, very well. Like, it's a little scary sometimes. I shock myself.
I asked God when I was getting to the music thing 40 years ago. I asked God to give me a sensible hard. If I listen to something that my heart goes, I stop listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care if it's a love song, a cool song, or whatever song.
Yeah.
If I have this feeling of this is not good for me, and it happens to movies, it happens everywhere. Like even when I'm talking to a person, when I respond with this thing, I get a lot of emails and like oh, I want to be your friend, but okay, of course. And if I have this I'm friend.
Yeah.
I just need this
Yeah.
That's all I need, and I listen so much. It
awesome.
speaks so loud to me. It's a little red flag,
Yeah.
and you cannot explain why.
Yeah.
It's just a red flag.
I agree.
And there's in Brazil, there's a sign that when you drive the car, there's a sign that says, if you have a doubt, don't pass it.
Yeah.
So one slight doubt, don't do it.
Yep.
If you have this thing in your, just don't do it.
Just listen to it.
Just
there's a
listen to
reason
it.
why we have that.
Run away from it.
Yeah, there's a reason we all have that. 100%. A lot of people have that. A lot of people don't listen to it. That's the thing.
Yeah. And then they suffer the
it's amazing.
consequence. They
Yeah.
suffer the consequence
Yes.
of their own choice.
I know. I'm a living person. I've not listened to my a lot of times, and God afterwards is like, I gave you an extra gift because of a hand you got dealt. Use it. And when I started using it, I was like, man, yeah, I don't have a lot of friends anymore, but I have some really good friends that I enjoy a lot more, and life is a lot easier. And of course, I'm able to use it for benefits like business as well, not just friendships and not just life.
It's not the quantity, the quality.
Yeah,
It's the quality
exactly.
of people that you.
As you get older, I'm realizing that too. Yeah.
You only need one
Yeah.
good friend's good enough.
Yeah, I guess.
God gave me 4 friends in 4 different seasons, like from 5 to 10,
Yeah.
and then teenager, he gave me another friend, and then when I got married, he gave me another friend, and then when I moved from one city to another, he gave me another friend,
Yeah.
and when I moved from one country to another,
Even another friend.
that's all I
awesome.
need.
Yeah, yeah. If I can try to count on my fingers, like real friends, like I would say, like they'll die for me, and I would die for them. And that's hard because I don't know. Like it's hard to know other person if he's willing. Like they say yes, but I know 100%. My business partner Andre, me and him since little kids, like grinding together. We did everything together, and he's in Texas now. But I would say I miss him. Yeah, like we don't talk much, but when we do, we hang out. It's like a brother that I never had. Yeah.
I can name mine: Adelson, Marcus, Edu Raya, Panic.
Well, both of my boys 100% are gonna be they're my best friends.
No, we're not going to talk about family related. No,
Yeah,
the
yeah, okay.
external
Okay.
guy, the external
Okay, yeah.
people. That
I would say number 2, besides Andre, will be my wife. I feel like she's my best friend.
Oh yeah,
And like
she goes to the good and bad
exactly,
every single day.
yeah.
My wife tells me, "Do you think he's such a nice person? He's so nice to everybody. Take him home. See how nice he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Sleep with him.
Yeah,
See
exactly.
how."
Exactly.
So she knows me.
Yeah.
She knows me 100%. So I cannot trade that with anyone in the world.
Alex Fortune will be probably another person who I'm really close to. He's known me very well, and I know him very well. We've been through good and bad, and he's my business partner too, actually. So.
That's cool. Oh, by the way, I'm going to talk about your business on this podcast because I can relate and put a link and say if you want to check this out and check this. So I'm going to get your business and put a link.
Yeah.
So if you have one customer because of the podcast, amen.
One customer can make the biggest difference. You don't know which customer that could be.
That's true.
I've had one customer who came in and they misread them, and out of nowhere, they know a bunch of other people who don't know anybody as good as well. They bring in them as well, and it changes everything.
I learned that from my dad. My dad used to be a motorcycle salesman. So the guy would come in, he would talk to everybody, didn't care how they look like. So this guy comes with a bag of like a supermarket bag in his hand, like dressing up like a bum. So my dad goes to him. Nobody didn't want to attend him.
Waste their time.
Yeah, this is a bum. Not shaved.
Yeah.
And then the guy started asking for the top motorcycle. And my dad said, no, this is whatever, how the blah blah blah, and just explaining. And she said, one day I'm gonna buy one of those. It's okay, come by. Okay, I'll be here waiting for you. And he looked at my desk. No, the day's gonna be today. And he opened the bag, was like a bunch of money, cash.
That's awesome.
Boom, gave it to my dad. And my dad said, what am I supposed to do with it? I said, I'm buying the motorcycle. He wasn't the richest guy in the whole city.
Oh, wow.
So
story shows you don't judge a book by its cover. It's always been like that. Yeah, I've had people like that. I'm like, man, they're wealthy. But they just don't care to show us, some people.
Bro, thank you.
Not a problem, thank you. I gotta go put my boys to bed. They're resting 1 hour.
So nice, so good, so good. Eric chose this beautiful song that talks about what God is. God is our provider, God is our healer, He's our redeemer, and God is our peace. This song is by Lecrae, and it's called El Shaddai, and it's featuring Cam. The song is from the album After the Music Stops, and it's available on iTunes and Google Play. We asked some students to play over the song, and this is what they came up with. It's really beautiful, it's really cool. See you next time. Let's listen to El Shaddai.
Share your heart with us.
El Shaddai, God you're almighty, God you're almighty, and Father I worship you. El Shaddai, God you're almighty, God, you're almighty, and Father, I worship you. I worship you, yes. Father, I worship you. Lord, I worship you. I worship you. Jehovah Nissi, Lord, you're my banner. Lord, you're my banner. And Father, I worship you. Jehovah Nissi, Lord, you're my banner. My banner, and Father, I worship you. I worship you. Father, I worship you. Jesus, I worship you. I worship you. Jehovah Jireh, you're my provider. You're my provider. And Father, I worship you. Jehovah Jireh, Lord, you're my provider. Lord, you're my provider, and Father, I worship you. Jesus, I worship you. Jesus, I worship you. Lord, I worship
All right. Thank you for listening to our podcast, Think and Play. If you have any questions, shoot us an email, thinkandplay2222@gmail.com. Subscribe for more episodes. We're going to have lots of more to come. Peace out. Thank you, people. Bye. Love you.